Chapter 1. The Vanished Hero. The dead world had a name once, but no one remembered it. The sky was a permanent bruise of purple and black, the air thick with the scent of rust and decay. The cities were skeletal, their towers clawing at the heavens like the fingers of buried giants. And in the ruins of what had once been a grand observatory, a lone figure waited. Her name was Vera, though few knew it. To the scavengers and outcasts who still clung to life on the dead world, she was the Beastwoman, a hybrid of human and something older, something wilder. Her golden eyes glowed in the dark, her clawed fingers flexing as she paced the cracked marble floor. He promised. The words were a mantra in her mind. 5 years ago, Captain Elias Kane had stood in this very spot, his hands gripping her shoulders, his voice raw with conviction. "I'll find a way to fix this. I'll bring back the light. Just hold on, Vera. Hold on for me." Then he had stepped through the unstable rift, a tear in reality that had once connected this world to 1,000 others, and vanished. The scientists had said the rift was a one-way trip. The scavengers had laughed, saying Kane was either dead or a coward who had abandoned her. Even the other hybrids, those like her who had been altered by the world's dying energies, had shaken their heads. "Humans lie," they told her. "They always leave." But Vera believed, because Kane had looked into her eyes, not at the claws, not at the fangs, not at the bestial traits that made others recoil, and he had seen her. And so she waited. Chapter 2. The Fractured Sky. The first sign that something was changing came at dusk. Vera was sharpening her knives when the ground trembled. A sound like thunder rolled across the dead plains, but there were no storms here, no rain. Only silence and dust. She sprinted to the observatory's broken dome, scaling the jagged metal beams until she stood at the highest point. And then she saw it, a flicker in the sky, a wound of light splitting open above the ruins of the old capital. The rift. It wasn't just active, it was expanding. Her heart hammered against her ribs. If the rift was opening, then maybe. She didn't let herself finish the thought. Hope was dangerous. Hope got you killed. But she ran anyway. Chapter 3. The Man Who Returned. The rift spat him out like something unwanted. Vera found Kane half buried in the rubble, his body broken, his armor scorched. His face was streaked with blood, his breathing shallow. But he was alive. She dragged him to shelter, her claws careful against his skin. When his eyes fluttered open, they were the same piercing blue she remembered, but haunted now, filled with things she didn't understand. "Vera." His voice was a rasp. "You waited." She bared her fangs in something between a snarl and a smile. "You promised." Kane coughed, his body shuddering. "I found it. The source. The reason this world died." She went still. No one knew what had killed their planet. One day the skies had darkened. The plants withered. The people mutated or perished. "It wasn't natural," Kane whispered. "It was stolen. The life, the light, all of it. And I know who took it." Chapter 4. The Truth in the Dark. Kane's story was impossible. Beyond the rift, he had found the nexus, a realm between worlds where the boundaries of reality thinned. And there he had seen them, the harvesters, beings of pure energy who fed on dying worlds, siphoning their essence to fuel their own immortality. "They've done this before," Kane said, his hands shaking. "They pick worlds on the brink of collapse and drain them dry. But this time we can stop them." Vera stared at him. "How?" "Because I stole something from them." From his belt, he unclipped a small, pulsing crystal. It glowed with an eerie light, humming like a living thing. "This is a shard of their core. With it we can reverse the process. We can bring this world back. She wanted to believe him. But the dead did not rise. The ruin did not rebuild. Why would you do this? She asked. You could have stayed away. Lived in a world that wasn't broken. Cain looked at her, and his answer was simple. Because I promised you. Chapter 5. The Last Stand. The harvesters came at dawn. They descended from the rift like falling stars, their forms shifting between solid and spectral. The air itself screamed as they moved, reality bending under their presence. Cain and Vera stood together in the ruins, the crystal between them. It won't be enough, Vera growled. There are too many. Cain activated the device on his wrist, a relic from the Nexus. It doesn't have to be. We just need to get close enough to the rift. They fought. Vera's claws tore through the harvester's incorporeal forms, her bestial strength the only thing keeping them at bay. Cain's weapon, a blade forged from the same energy as the crystal, sliced through their defenses. But they were losing. A harvester's tendril speared Cain through the chest. He gasped, blood bubbling on his lips. Vera howled, lunging to rip the creature apart. Now! Cain choked. Throw it into the rift. With a snarl, Vera hurled the crystal into the tear in the sky. The explosion was silent. A wave of light erupted from the rift, washing over the dead world. The harvesters shrieked as their stolen energy was torn from them, streaming back into the soil, the air, the bones of the planet. Vera collapsed beside Cain as the world trembled. Did it work? He whispered. She looked up, and for the first time in a century the sky was blue. Epilogue. The Beastwoman's faith. They said he'd never come back. But the Beastwoman had believed. And because of that, because of them, the dead world lived again.